In this video, I'm gonna reveal to you how to overcome imposter syndrome. So by the end of the video, you're gonna know how to quiet your inner critic and stop imposter syndrome so that you confidently take actions to grow your coaching business. If you stay until the end, I'm gonna give you a free gift. It'll be a tool that you can use that'll help you release the imposter syndrome in 10 minutes or less. So make sure to stick around till the end. So let's dive right in. There's 3 steps to overcoming imposter syndrome. The first step is to, number 1, accept that you have imposter syndrome. Instead of trying to judge yourself for it or resist that it's there, what we all know as coaches is what we resist persists. You want to accept it. You want to look at it. You want to notice it. You want to acknowledge it. And you want to have some self-compassion, some empathy for yourself, because you did not create your imposter syndrome. The environments that you grew up in, the guardians who helped raise you, the influences in your life is what shaped these limiting beliefs, these fears, these insecurities. They're not your stuff. With that said, you're still carrying them. And I know because I had a very strong imposter syndrome and still do to this day, which I'm going to tell you about in a moment. So number 1, accept that it's there. In fact, I would have you consider it's a gift. Why? Because if you didn't feel like a little bit of an imposter, don't you think you would be playing too small? Like if you were just inside your comfort zone, not doing stuff outside of your comfort zone, then of course you wouldn't feel like an imposter. You'd just be going through the motions of life. You would be probably avoiding building your business. You wouldn't be having those uncomfortable conversations, and you would be playing small. What I don't want for you is for you to let 10, 20, 30 years of your life go by, look back with regret because you didn't play big. And so if you do feel like an imposter, awesome. Welcome to the club. I feel like an imposter every day. Why? Because there's new levels to the growth in my life, new levels in my marriage, new levels in my parenting, new levels in my business, and they're all unfamiliar. And so that's going to come up for me, and instead of judging it or pretending it like it's not there, I look at it, I own it, I accept it, and that one thing will make a huge shift for you. So that's the first step. The second step to overcoming imposter syndrome is to recognize that confidence, which is what many people want. They think, if I just feel more confident, then I'm not going to feel like an imposter. But here's the truth about confidence. Confidence is a result. It is not a requirement. A confidence is a result from taking the actions necessary when you're scared, when you feel like an imposter. To wait around for confidence, you're going to wait your entire life. And like I said earlier, imagine the vision that you have for your coaching business right now. What if you let that vision go by for 1 year? Let's let 12 more months go by from this moment. Let's let 5 years go by. Let's let 10 more years of your finite life go by where you're not taking action towards your vision and accomplishing your goals. Don't you think the pain of not taking action is far greater than the pain of putting yourself out there, of recording a video, of sharing your message on social media, of making that offer, of having that enrollment call, of delivering that service to that client? You see, by you doing these things, you're going to feel more confident. But by watching videos like this, and I appreciate you watching my videos, you're not going to feel more confident. You've got to take the actions necessary to build that confidence, to break through, to stop, and to overcome imposter syndrome. So remember, confidence is a result from taking action. It is not a requirement to take that action. The third step to overcoming imposter syndrome is to imagine a successful outcome. Imagine the successful completion of the event that's causing imposter syndrome. So let's say that you feel like an imposter and you're just starting out. You haven't launched your coaching business yet. You want to, but you don't know where to start, and you feel a little bit uncertain about helping people. Well, guess what? If you focus on all of the visions that you have of not being a great coach, then guess what? You literally will manifest that and make that real. But if instead you envision yourself, you brainwash yourself, you convince yourself that you can help these clients, and you're not going to overpromise and underdeliver. You're going to make a promise that you know you can deliver, even if that's a small promise, but you're going to envision the successful completion of that event. Anytime that there's fear, doubt, insecurity, or imposter syndrome, what's happening is that we're envisioning a bad outcome. If you've ever felt afraid of public speaking, I've had a deep rooted fear of public speaking my entire life. I remember standing up in high school once, giving a presentation and just going completely silent and being frozen in terror and having all of my friends and peers looking at me and feeling judged even though they didn't judge me. I felt judged, I felt rejected, I felt stupid, I felt not enough. And that continued to go for a very long time until I started to envision a more positive outcome. And so the idea here is when you envision the successful completion of whatever event you feel imposter about, maybe it's making your offer, maybe it's growing your coaching business from 6 figures to 7 figures, maybe it's hiring a team, maybe it's going from organic marketing to paid ads, whatever it is, envision the most positive outcome and you're going to find that confidence, motivation, excitement fills your body and fuels you to move forward. If you want help with this, I have an amazing technique that I learned from a mentor of mine, and I do this all the time. And it's a free technique that I'm happy to gift you, okay? And what it is a guided technique to release the imposter syndrome. So if you want that, then just comment confident below, and I will send you a pre-recorded technique. It's about a 5 to 10 minute meditation. And if you do this, I promise you're going to feel more focused, more confident, and you're going to release that imposter inside of you. So just comment confident below and you'll get it for free. Now, I want to share a little backstory about my journey as a coach and the imposter syndrome that I struggled with, because when I first launched my coaching business, I didn't know who my niche was. I didn't know what my message was. I didn't feel confident in my abilities as a coach. I didn't feel confident in my offer. And yet I took the step anyway. I took the leap. And the reason was because I was very fortunate. I had my best friend in my life at the time, Sean Stevenson, have a huge impact on my life. He believed in me when I didn't believe in me. And so I borrowed that belief. But the imposter syndrome was still there, and yet I took action. And I'll never forget a few months into my coaching business, maybe it was a year, I think it was a year into my coaching business, I started to write this book behind me, other shoulder, this book right here. If you can see me on video right now, it's called The Fearless Mindset. I wrote this book, I published it back in, 2015, and it became a #1 Amazon bestseller. And so when writing this book, I'll never forget, I was going to visit my family for a family reunion. And it was about a year after I had launched my coaching business, and very few of them knew what I was doing. My background before that was investment banking. I worked in private equity. I made good money, but I was miserable. And I left that career and I went to coaching. And so at this family reunion, I was so excited because I was going to announce to them that I had launched a coaching business, that I was helping people. At the time, I wasn't coaching coaches because I hadn't built a successful business yet, but I was helping them like peak performance coaching, mindset coaching for entrepreneurs. And so I announced that, and I told my family that I was writing a book and I was going to publish it later this summer. And I'll never forget one of my family members who helped raise me, went white, and she looked at me and she goes, "Peter, if you publish this book, then we will disown you." And I'm like, "What? Disown me?" And she's like, "If you publish this book, we will disown you because you'll ruin the family name." The family name. And it took every fiber in my being not to break down in that moment in front of my whole family. I had to get up and excuse myself. I went to the bathroom, I locked the door, and literally just tears streamed down my face. And the reason was because I had led my life up until that point seeking the approval and the love of my family and of my loved ones. And I think that's a worthy desire, but it was a need. It was a toxic need because I was so afraid of making them not love me or of making them not approve of what I was doing, that I was playing small and living a life that they approved of, but not a life that I approved of. And so my imposter syndrome in that moment got louder and louder and louder. When that family member said, "Who do you think you are to do this? You don't have letters at the end of your name. You don't have degrees and degrees and degrees to do this." I had all of this stuff come up for me. And in that moment, I had a choice, just like you have a choice right now watching this video. Do I play small and prioritize making my family comfortable, or do I release that need and take action towards my goals no matter what? You see, I was done living my life for someone else's approval. And so you may have to, if you haven't yet, to face that choice. And maybe you never will. Hopefully you never will. But if you do, that's the perfect opportunity for you to look at the imposter in the eye, in the mirror, and say, I love you and I appreciate you and I'm done with you. And I'm taking action no matter what. You see, my family, I don't have any hard feelings towards in that moment. That was their expression of love. Why? Because they just wanted me to be what? Safe. So I share that story to let you know that the imposter syndrome is real and it's there and it's in all of us. And instead of trying to pretend like it's not there, own it. Look at these 3 steps. I'm going to remind you what they are. Number 1, accept the imposter syndrome instead of resisting it. Number 2, know that confidence is a result from taking action, not a requirement. And number 3, imagine the most successful completion of the event that's causing anxiety. If this was useful and valuable to you and you want to see future videos of mine, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video. And if you want the imposter release technique, then comment confident below so that my team can give it to you. And make sure to check out my next video, because if you are now in a state of action and focus to grow your coaching business and scale your coaching business, the first step to doing that is choosing a profitable coaching niche. And if you need help doing that, then check out my next video right here, where you can choose a profitable coaching niche. My name is Peter Scott, reminding you to be here, act now, and fear less.